what's up? Okay, I got an amazing question on my Facebook page. Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good. You're gonna love it. From my amazing friend Dave. And he said, can you have just one? Oh my God, you guys, I totally forgot to say, welcome to the 5th episode of Start Raving Sober with me, Court Rundell. Doo-doo-dee. So, we people with alcoholism get this question a lot. I have gotten this question a lot. Can't you just have one? Come on, Court. You can just have one glass of wine. You can just have one beer. The first thing I have to say is, why? Why? My God, why would anyone have one drink? Like, that makes no sense to me. So that's basically like, a perfect analogy would be, like, I really like riding roller coasters at Magic Mountain. So like, hey, Court, why don't you come to Magic Mountain with me and not ride any roller coasters? Like, that doesn't make any sense, right? So like, if I'ma have a drink, I'ma ride the roller coaster. You know what I mean? Okay, so next, to get serious for a second, why can't I just have one? Because I have alcoholism and I don't metabolize alcohol like a normal person. So the easiest way to say is it's like an allergy. And if somebody's allergic to bees, they get stung by a bee, major bad, right? If I get stung by a bee, ain't no thing. Chicken wang? I mean, ow, sucks, right? Move on. So basically, I have an allergy and my body, my actual physical body, does not chemically react to alcohol the way it does in a normal drinker. So when alcohol hits my bloodstream, it goes up to my head and tells my brain, now's a great time to take off all our clothes. Woo! No, really, seriously. Basically, it metabolizes strangely, differently, and that alcohol goes, breaks through the blood-brain barrier. That's a mouthful. And my brain, instead of going, I'm a little sleepy, maybe I'll have one and take a little nappy nap, my brain goes more. How can we get more of that? Okay, so by the way, maybe we need more of that. And then I want to get to that point, I never wanted one. I always wanted 4. I thought 4, if I could have 4, because 4 was like, 4 gave me that, it took me to that place that I just really felt peace. And I felt good. And I felt self-esteem. I felt good about myself. I felt pretty. I felt skinny. I felt alive. I felt like, desirable. I felt like men wanted me and women wanted me too. It just, I got to that. It was this beautiful state of euphoria. But the problem is, my brain goes, wow, we feel really good right now. You know what? We can feel better. There is a better than good. And I want to feel great. And then once I feel great, I want to feel amazing. And when I feel amazing, I want to feel gorgeous and fabulous and invincible. And I want to feel like a Kardashian before they existed. I want to feel. There's no cap on what I want to feel. So the reason I can't have just one, and I actually have the same thing with a few other things. It's really addiction in general why I can't have a little bit of, let's say, sugar, because I'm addicted to sugar, because I also don't think it metabolizes properly in my body. And I'm not talking like a teaspoon of honey, I'm talking like a cupcake, right? Because then the phenomenon of craving kicks in. And I'm just thinking, cupcake. When can I get another cupcake? Maybe I could get some cake. Maybe I could. And my brain, you know, it's twisted, because then it's like, oh, well, I had one. Maybe I haven't had any for a long time. And I had one. So, well, if I had one, I could have two. No one will know. And, you know, and then it's the obsession of my mind. All it thinks about is getting that alcohol. And I didn't have a child when I was drinking, but I loved very deeply many people. I always loved many people. I have a huge capacity for love. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love. And I could love you. And I really did love you. But I would be with you, and I would be thinking about, when am I going to get my next drink? How am I going to get my next drink? Or how am I going to get another drink in me without you noticing? Because then maybe you'll think I have a problem. And I can't have you think I have a problem. I mean, I don't have a problem, but, you know, I need to keep it on the DL, how many I'm having. Because, you know, sometimes people think it's weird when you have 18 drinks. Some people think it's weird when you have an entire case of beer. And to me, that was party time, you know? And I always, I overshot the mark, you know? I would overshoot the mark. And I talked about this in a previous video. I'll link to it somewhere. I want to point to where the little linky is, but I'm not that rad yet. Learning, new YouTuber. But I would get speed, you know, because I would overshoot the mark, and then I'd be like, oh, I'm going to barf. And then if I got some speed in me, then I wasn't going to barf. And then I could keep drinking and keep drinking and keep drinking and keep drinking. And then I'd do the same thing with cocaine or meth or crank. There was, you know, who does one line? Like, I was always shocked that there were people who actually would have drugs left over the next day. Like, I saved some cocaine for later. Who saves cocaine for later? My favorite quantity is all of it. All of it. I want all of the alcohol and all of the drugs and all of the sex and all of the sugar and all of the right? Because I'm an addict. And it's like this funky ass switch in my brain. And here's the rub, and I will close with this. Here is the rub. When I got sober, I learned that the first drink gets you drunk. That was a revelation. Let that soak in for a second. The first drink gets me drunk. I always thought it was the fifth. If I could just have 4, go home. You know, once I had that fifth drink, that's what got me drunk. But I learned that the first drink gets me drunk, so don't take the first drink. I take my first drink sober. And that still to this day blows my mind. Because I would end up drunk over and over and over again. And I would forget that I had quit, you know, because I was quitting and quitting and quitting. Like from about 21 years old to 24, I started stopping. That's when it got really crappy, by the way. Don't quit! Oh, kidding. Rehab is for quitters. Used to be one of my favorite t-shirts. It still is. I think it's funny. I have a sense of humor. But, no. The first drink gets you drunk. The first drink gets you drunk. That's it. So why am I going to have one drink that's going to set off the alarms, you know? And I don't know, maybe I could have one drink once, twice. But I don't know, when I went 5 months without drinking and I started drinking again after 5 months, you know, I really controlled and managed it for about 3 weeks. And then all of a sudden, it was worse than it had ever been before. And I had no control because I lose all control when I take that first drink. It's like Russian roulette. You know, I don't know if I'm going to have 4, rarely, I don't know if I'm going to have 24. I don't know if I'm going to get some coke. I don't know if I'm going to get some mushrooms, if it's LSD. I mean, I did a shit ton of drugs, but with alcohol, I mostly did speed. I really did like LSD and stuff more in high school when I was younger. We'll talk about it later. But anyway, I hope that answers that question, Dave. You know, can you just have one? Yeah, Dave, I can. If I want to fuck up my entire life. I love you guys. You're totally awesome. Please subscribe and, you know, like this stuff and do all that stuff because it makes me happy. It makes me very happy. And thanks for watching. And stay rad. Stay rad. Stay rad. 007.